How to build a trusting relationship with a child. Let's break it down. Every child is different, so it can be difficult to know how to build trust with each child. I'm going to share with you 3 universal things that will help you build trust with any child. Putting these 3 things together is critical so that you can build a trusting relationship. So you're going to want to listen to the end. All right, parent guilt warning right now. I'm going to tell you something that's really important, but it might trigger some parent guilt. And we all have parent guilt. Nobody's a perfect parent, so we feel like we're all screwing our kids up, right? None of us have built trust perfectly with our children. Trust is far more important with your children than you may think. The development of your children in terms of healthy attachment has everything to do with how much they trust their parents. When your children feel safe, they feel like they can explore the world. They can put themselves out there. They can do all kinds of things. When they don't feel safe, then they spend their time and their energy trying to figure out how to feel safe. So the more safety and trust they have with their parents, the more they're going to learn how to adapt in this world and be effective in this world. When they don't trust you, they retreat, they overcompensate, they numb out, and they try to avoid feeling. So learning how to trust you is important for them to learn how to cope with life. Building trust with your child may be the most important, best thing that you possibly can do as a parent. So before I get into the 3 things that you need to build trust with your child, remember to subscribe to my channel. I've done intakes with people many times. My job has been to assess addicts for the level of care that they need, meaning what kind of treatment do they need. And it's interesting as I hear people's stories, I hear all about their childhood and I hear all about their parents. I would go as far to say that there's a big correlation between the attachment and the trust that a child has and whether or not there's going to be an addiction there. It's pretty obvious. So it's so important to have that trust. Now, I'm not saying if your child doesn't trust you that they're automatically going to be an addict, but I would say that they're more likely to be. So it's awesome that you're watching this video to figure out how to build that trust with your children because it means you actually care. You care to create that attachment with your child so that they can be the best people that they possibly can be. All right, so let's talk about the 3 things. One of the most important things you can do to build trust with your child is to show up as a trustworthy person. Duh, I think that's pretty obvious. But it's doing something. It's teaching them how to be a trustworthy person, and it's helping them feel safe with you. So the better example you can set of being a trustworthy person, the more trust they're going to have with you. Now, what that means is that your word needs to mean something. Talk is cheap, but when you follow through, that means something to your child. They're going to trust you when what you say you actually do. So don't throw a lot of threats out there that you don't follow up on. And don't say a bunch of things that just aren't true to your child. When you speak, make sure what you're saying is the truth. Be rigorously honest with your child. And it's very important to follow through. The next thing to build trust with your child that's so important is love. Now, a lot of people don't really know what love is, believe it or not. To me, what love is when you actually care to understand somebody. You give of your energy and your time to connect to them. Children can be difficult. They can drain your energy really quickly. I can say this because I have 4 kids. They can wear you down. And sometimes it's hard after a long days of work or when you're just tired and you'd rather play games on your phone to not even connect to your kids. But if your kids feel neglected and they feel like you don't care, then they're not going to trust you. So it's important that you build a rapport with them through loving them. Have ways that you connect, things that you relate to, things that you can talk about, and a relationship about many things so that they feel like, hey, mom or dad actually loves me. They want to connect to me and they care about my life. The next thing to build trust, it requires consistency. So if you're a loving parent who follows through with their word and you're honest for a week, that's not going to build trust. But when your children know over time who you are because you're consistent, that's going to build trust. It's going to show your integrity to your child, your integrity that your word means something, and that you actually do love them. You've got to do it again and again and again and again. It's important to understand that a trustworthy person is an honest person. An honest person is a person who can own their mistakes. So I'm not saying you need to be perfect as a parent to build trust, but you do need to be open and honest with your children about who you really are. Building trust with children is not much different from building trust with adults. The principles are the same. The principles of honesty, empathy, and love and consistency are all the same. If you found this video helpful, then check out my other video, How to Fix Trust Issues in a Relationship.